Hey guys, in this video I will show you how I lifted up my E46 compact for my off-road project. And when I start with the rear, it's quite simple. You just need to replace the springs, but the hard thing is to find out which ones do you need. So I have here some for comparison. These three are from E46s. And these are the stock ones for the compact. This one what I have is 318 Ti, but already with the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. And the car is quite low, which is fine for normal driving, of course. But when you want to lift it up, you can use the springs from the 6-cylinder E46, for example, sedan or touring. And that will give you plus 2 centimeters, I would say, approximately. These ones here are from the 6-cylinder, so they are a bit higher and they have bigger diameter here, so they don't compress that much as these ones. Then these ones I bought on the internet because they had the biggest length I could find, but actually these ones are quite thin here, so they will compress a lot at the beginning, so I would say these ones will actually make it a little bit higher than these ones. Okay, then for the comparison, these are just from E30 and these ones are already minus 2 centimeters. They are not stock, lowered ones, and they are already a bit higher. So maybe if you use the stock E30 6-cylinder springs, you will get some height as well. Other option what you have is this spring, which is from E36. But the problem I had before is that actually it has different diameters, because the E46, it has 2 diameters. This ones go on the lower end, this is the top end, and this one is bigger, so actually you can see this one is the bigger one, so this one will fit here, and this is the other end, but you can see this one is bigger as well. But E36, it has the same diameter here and on the other side, so you can use these ones, but you need to buy 2 more of these because they are the right diameter to fit it on the spring. But I wanted some more height, and I went to some scrapyards and I found the holy grail in this, and that's this spring here. And this one is actually from the Sharan. I'm not exactly sure which generation because it's just from the scrapyard, but I think might be Sharan first generation, I don't know. But this one is the one I'm going to fit, and this is the original one, so you can see that it's quite higher, which of course makes some problems when you try to fit it. So let's take a look at it now. Okay, so if you want to do something like that by yourself, you need to of course remove the wheels, then disconnect the damper, and then of course you can lower this thing down, and then you can remove the stock spring. It should be quite easy thing to do. But one thing I would recommend is to disconnect the sway bar as well, because I actually, when I put this down, I actually broke my linkage, so I need to buy a new one. And on the other side, I already fitted the Sharan spring. It was not easy because it just doesn't fit, it's too big. So you would either remove the whole rear subframe, I would say, and then somehow put the spring there and then put it back. But that's a lot of work, I didn't want to do that. So actually what I did is that I sacrificed these spring compressors here, just shortened them. These are some cheap ones, so it's not a big issue. And then you can compress the spring, fit it to the car, decompress these ones and put it there. It's still quite tight fit, but I was able to do it, so I'm really looking forward how high it will be now. Okay, so that's it I think for the rear. And of course I didn't mention that for the Sharan spring you need 2 of these ones as well, because they have the same diameter as the E36 on both sides as well. you can maybe see it from here as well, that this one is just bigger, this one is smaller, yeah. So you need in total 4 of these ones, but 2 they are there by stock. Maybe I can show it to you, yeah, because this one fits just here, yeah, but it's just too big. So on the other side you can see I already fitted this kind, and it fits just nicely. Okay, now going to the front, it is more of a challenge because it's not just an easy fit. Yeah. These ones are the stock E46 compact from my compact from the 318 Ti, and I already fitted on the car springs from 6-cylinder, and this gave me like plus 2 centimeters, I think, as well, similar as the rear, because I bought these ones. These are both from E36, and I thought I would somehow put it in there. I bought also the top heads for the dampers for the E36, but the problem is why you cannot fit them is that actually E46 is kind of special, and you can see this is the lower end that sits on the lower end, yeah, and it's not round. Yeah, here you can see that it goes, here is like some kind of radius, yeah, but the E36 they don't have it, they are just round all around there, so you cannot fit it. So the only option other than just fitting the 6-cylinder springs, yeah, which will give you just plus 2 centimeters, which is not enough for me, you need to do some spacers. So I designed some spacers, let it be yeah, fabricated on the laser. Then I bought this kind of tube, cut it, then I will weld it, just take it, yeah, try if I can fit it inside, then weld it properly, and I will talk about these ones later in the video. So the rear springs are fitted, and I'm actually quite impressed because it gave me the 5 centimeters which I was aiming for. I would say when I drive it a bit it will settle down a little bit, yeah, maybe to 4 centimeters, but still quite good. One thing of course that happens is that it will give you terrible positive camber. This is a little bit more than 1 degree, so of course I will adjust it, and I hope there will be enough adjustment in the lower arm possible, yeah, so I can do it to the original settings that they were on this car. So now moving to the front, I already lifted the car by the jack by 5 centimeters, and this is just to simulate if I welded these spacers just in one axis, that would just extend, yeah, this strut, and what it would do is actually to give you positive camber as well, and this is a little bit less than 1 degree of positive camber currently. And I already drill out this pin here and shifted the strut to the inside of the car to give me the most negative camber that I can get. So in order to avoid these settings and to have it possible to set it up as the car was in stock, I measured the angle of the camber and castor of this tower, and it was roughly like 12.5 degree of camber and 7 degrees of castor. And of course this is not precise measurement or anything, but yeah, hey, it's a low budget car and this is free application from the store. And I also using this bar actually to measure the camber like this, yeah, so it's not precise, you know, but it's enough. So what I will actually do, I won't do it like that, but I have prepared this, and it will be actually welded like here. So it will compensate for the 12.5 degree of camber and 7 degrees of the castor. So actually I won't extend it in the direction of the strut, but vertically, just down. But there is one more thing. When you look under the car, so this will be the stock height when I put the spacers there, and you can see that the arm is not horizontal anymore. Normally with the stock height, this lower arm is like a horizontal, and of course if you lift it up, the horizontal distance of the arm will be shorter, so it will give you more positive camber. So actually, to compensate for this shortened lower arm when you have it under an angle like this, I actually put a few more millimeters here as well. Yeah, so I'm quite looking forward how it will go, but I think it will be just fine. And I have here some room for the adjustment as well, yeah, because I already drilled this pin out, so I think it will be enough. So yeah, let's weld it and try it on the car. So it's now welded and painted. I let it sandblast it a bit. Then there is a zinc layer for extra protection from corrosion, and then powder coating, but I needed it quickly and they were doing beige color. So I have it in beige, and I had a leftover black spray here, so at least I could paint it from one side, and this one is actually visible from the engine bay, so that's fine for me. This one is from underneath, so it won't be really visible. Okay, so how you actually fit it to the car, and this is of course a bit problematic. You definitely cannot do it the same way as you are removing it without the spacer, because this is as far as you will get basically. There's no way you can just fit it like this. So what I wanted to do, I just removed the brake, something like that, the sensors, and I wanted to remove these two ball joints. But I was like seriously trying for 2 hours and I just couldn't do it. Normally how you remove them, or how I do it, is that you bash to this part with a hammer, and I have quite a big one, and I was bashing to it, to this one, and it should just fall off, yeah, obviously when you still have it like mounted, and it just didn't work out as it should. So I tried this kind of tool to do it. I tried also put two nuts, lock them together and then rotate. That didn't work out as well. And last option would be that there exists some special tool for removing the ball joint, which like goes below here, and then you screw something in and we'll just push it out. But I don't have that one, so I cannot do that. So, and I think that would be really the way to go, because you can remove it, mount it here, and then you could probably fit it here or something like that, but I cannot do it because I just cannot remove these ones. So what I'm actually thinking of doing, I tried also to compress the spring with the spring compressors what I have, but that didn't work out as well, because there is no compression I can get actually on the front. It's not that easy as on the rear. So what I'm thinking is actually connecting the sway bar on this point, removing the connection on the other side, and actually try to lift it via the sway bar somehow and compress it and then put it. So I don't know, it can be a little bit dangerous, so I want to do it as safe as I can, but let's see if it will work out or not. So it's there. I don't like the way how I did it, but it's there. At the end I used combination of the spring compressors. You can see the spacer there. And then I was lifting the sway bar, which pushes up here a little bit, and then I helped a little bit with this lifter as well. So now I need to do the other side and put it all together and put it on the wheels, set up geometry, and that's it. Actually, I found out the clearance issue when the wheel will be in full lock and it will go to rebound, maximum rebound. there is a clearance issue with the linkage to the sway bar and the brake line a little bit, and this is not even screwed in completely, so I'm afraid it will, yeah, there's potential risk that it will destroy the brake line. So what I'm thinking to do, and there should be hopefully enough space, just unscrew this and put it to the other side and then check if I have no more clearance issues. Of course, that's not possible what I said, because the original linkage, it has 180 degrees difference at the top and the bottom. So what I needed to do, I actually cut it in half and I shortened it by 1 centimeter approximately as well. I will show you now why. And I just tacked it a little bit. I did this a V shape to weld it properly, then I will weld it like together, this V, and then do a V from the other side and weld it there, yeah, to have it strong. So now we fit it here. It will go like this, the bottom. This will go to the top. So yeah, this is how it will fit. Now I have full lock to the left, and the reason why I shorten it by 1 centimeter is this clearance here from this lower arm, because yeah, now there is less than 1 centimeter, so I would have a clearance issue here. So that's the reason I shorten it by 1 centimeter. And another thing I was afraid of is when you will be in maximum bound, if it won't interfere here, but actually this is fine. Yeah, it's really tight around the plastic part here, but even if it goes to the bound, and I think because it's like 50 centimeters higher, yeah, maybe the maximum will be around here, that it won't even go around this plastic. But even if it went, it's fine, because there is some space. Yeah. Okay, so now I welded, shortened the other one, and then I can finally fit it and go for the geometry. So yeah. So the linkage is welded and fitted, car is on the wheels, and there is lots of clearance everywhere, so I think should be pretty fine. I as well drove the car around a little bit, so everything settles down. So I can tell you now that at the front it's really like 5 centimeters higher than before, and at the back it's +4 as I estimated. And when I compare it to the stock height, because before I had the springs from the 6-cylinder, which gives you +2 approximately centimeters, compared to stock, this setup will give you +7 at the front and +6 centimeters in the back approximately. And I think looks pretty cool. Okay, so now let's talk about the geometry setting, and starting with the camber on the front. So I already set up the camber most inwards to the car. Yeah, you cannot see the slots now, but it's most to the inwards to have the most negative camber as I can get. And the way how you can measure the camber is that you will have this L sheet metal or something like that. You can put it to the wheel, just measure at the top, at the bottom, and then calculate the angle from the measurements you get. Or another possibility is what I showed in the video before, that you can get this kind of app, and you will have some kind of this wood, put it to the wheel, and then place it. Yeah, and I think it's actually quite precise, at least enough for me. And you can see now probably it's like 0 or 0.1 degree of negative camber. Yeah. So actually I was not able to get to the negative camber I wanted. Yeah, the car is in stock. And let's take a look at the back. At the back you can set the camber by adjusting a screw which is on the lower arm. Yeah, you can find a bunch of videos on YouTube how to do that, so I won't show it here. I set it up to the most negative as well. And actually what I got is around 0. Yeah. Sorry, I got it around 0 as well. Yeah. So and on the other side it's the same as well. So currently I have 0 camber on all of the wheels. Yeah. I was aiming for a little bit negative. The reason why you want a little bit negative camber is that when the car is turning, the rubber of course compresses, yeah, and deforms, and you are using just outer of the thread if you have like a 0 or a positive camber. But with the negative one you are using more width of the tire. And with the standard geometry, the cars normally when they compress, the camber is increasing. And because when you put the car higher, as I have, and the lower arms are at greater angle, actually when the tire compresses and goes up, the horizontal length of the arm will increase more than when you have the stock height. So you will have actually more progressive camber change when you corner and the wheel compresses. Yeah, so I think it should behave fine, even though I have really like 0 camber on all of the wheels. So let's see how it behaves, but I think it should be fine. Yeah. So now let's talk about the toe settings. For the toe, you need to measure the width at the front and back, because as you can see I have the rope here, but actually at the back the car is 1.5 centimeter wider than the front. So I've put here this like 8mm spacers, so in order to have this rope parallel on both sides. Yeah. And now speaking of the front, it's quite easy. Yeah, you just unscrew this and change the length of the conrod here. And I have actually on my car a little bit of toe in, because when you put this out, and this is here, and you can see that there is like I don't know, 3 millimeters, maybe 4. Yeah, it's like a half of it. So I need to extend it a little bit to have actually 0 toe. Yeah, because I decided when I have 0 camber, I will try to go with 0 toe for front and back as well, and just see how the car behaves. And if it's bad for normal driving, then I will somehow change it there. But I want to try 0 camber, 0 toe. This will give you theoretically the least wear on the tires. So I'm quite curious how it will behave. So this is how we do it at the front. And at the back, actually on this car, I have quite a toe in on this wheel. Yeah, on the other side, the toe is basically 0. Yeah, because the rope is touching on the both sides. Yeah. And how you adjust the toe here is that there are 3 screws. Don't know if you can see, but on this lower arm, there are 3 screws. You unscrew them, then you can hammer it a little bit to the side, tighten it again, and that's what I will do. Yeah, I will change the toe of this tire, then adjust the front. And every time you do change like this, you want to drive around a little bit the car, yeah, so it settles down, and then measure again. So I will set now the geometry, and then I think it will be time to set some proper off-road tires, better one than these ones. So yeah, let's do that. So the geometry is done, and the tire size I'm going to fit is 205, 75, 15, and these ones are approximately 5 centimeters bigger on the diameter than these ones. These are standard 195, 65 R15. And another thing which is different is the ET of the rim, because this one is from 5 Series, I think E39 probably, and it has ET20, or in BMW naming convention IS20, and this one has IS42. So actually this ones will go 22 millimeters more to the outside, which is what you need there, so the tire is not scrubbing on the beams and stuff like that. So, and I think this is the biggest tire dimension you can fit without some extreme modifications to the car. So starting with the rear, it's pretty simple. I did nothing. I already ran those tires last year when I had only the springs from the 6-cylinder, and when it was bumping, you can see here probably it was scrubbing a bit this plastic here, but it's only plastic. I also bashed with a hammer a little bit this edge, so I have no clearance issues here. And this one I think will be easily solved, because now the car sits higher than before, yeah, about 4 centimeters in the back, so I think that's fine. At the front it's a little bit more difficult. You need of course to put away the plastic cover, because there is no way you could fit it with the plastic cover. And even without the plastic cover, there must be some modification done. So I needed to bash this ones a little bit. I hope you can see it. There are like three holes when normally fits the cover. These were touching the tire, so I bashed them with a hammer. That's fine. The biggest modification what I needed to do was this beam actually, because that was interfering with the tire when steering. So I cut it here, cut it a lot here from the inside, like I cut, I don't know, maybe 1 centimeter from it, and here, and then bashed it with the hammer here and here, and then welded and everything, so that's fine. And yep. And even with this modification, you can see that there was a little bit of scrubbing here. It's like really just a little bit. Also, you can see it here a little bit, yeah. Here a little bit. There's actually a little bit of rust, because this one was actually a little bit more. And here it's just lightly scrubbing, yeah. But again, I think this will be solved when the car sits 5 centimeters higher now, so I should not have any clearance issues now. Also, when the wheel was in the bump, then I was scrubbing actually the fender here when steering as well, so that was not good. So that's another reason why I wanted the car higher than it was before, just on the 6-cylinder springs. Yeah, and of course these tires are bigger, 5 centimeters on the diameter, so it will give you another 5 centimeters of height clearance for the car. So let's fit them. I will check for the clearances, hopefully everything will be fine, and then we can finally do a test drive. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Maybe I inspired you to lift up your Beamer as well. I still have plenty of clearance here. I think that's perfect. A little bit worse, it's at the back. But the plastic here is already scrubbed, so I think that's fine, and to this position it will get minimum times. Okay, so till next time.